Hey everybody, it's Beth from Yoga and Reiki Bliss. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to pop in with a little bit of a breathing practice. In our classes this month, we have been focusing on the breath, not merely observation, but exploring ways to open the body so that it's a little more receptive to the breath. And today we'll explore a little bit of a movement practice to open up the front of the body, thinking like the belly and the chest, opening up the sides of the body, thinking of the rib cage and the muscles that line the rib cage um, that connect the ribs to each other, the intercostal muscles. Of course, opening up the back body with the same idea so that we can see if we can create a little more mobility in the rib cage for the lungs to breathe with ease and even room in the body for the diaphragm muscle to move. So when our chest muscles or abdominal muscles in the back, when they're all held rigid or are tight, it'd be difficult for that diaphragm muscle to move freely, and that would impact our ability to breathe with ease. So we're going to spend just a little bit of time moving to open up some areas in the body that potentially could impact our breathing in a positive way. And we're going to do a little breathing practice, a pranayama practice called Sama Vrtti, and with the hope of calming the nervous system and maybe, over the long haul, if you were to do this on a regular basis, improving lung function and lung capacity, and maybe even our immune system, right? Sometimes our breath practice can have a positive impact on our immune system. All right, so for our practice today, you'll need a strap. If you don't have a strap, you could use a scarf, you could use a belt, you could even use your sweatshirt. We'll need a blanket if you've got one, and a bolster. If you don't have a yoga bolster, a pillow will do. All right, so let's hop on the mat. I'm going to start sitting. And I'd love for you to take your blanket and you could just fold it a couple of times. I'm going to fold mine in thirds. And you could even do this sitting on a chair. I would come to the edge of the chair so that you can sit up a little more upright. And then from here, we'll come to sit in any seat. I'm going to sit cross-legged. You could do the same. You could sit with the soles of your feet together. You could sit with your feet on the ground, right? You could sit with your shins on the sides of your hips. And I'm just turning my blanket a little bit toward the shorter side so that when I sit cross-legged, my thighs don't get pulled up. And what I'm aiming for here is to bring the pelvis and the spine upright just a little more clearly so that, again, there's just room for the diaphragm to move. If I'm kind of stuck here, it can be a little difficult for the diaphragm to move, for the lungs to expand. So sitting up a little higher will help with that. And then we're going to take your strap or your scarf, whatever you're using, and you're going to wrap it around your rib cage. And you're going to crisscross it right in front of the bottom of your sternum. So the sternum is that long bone in the center of your chest that attaches to your rib cage. And at the bottom of it is where we'll crisscross. That's one of the attachment sites for your diaphragm muscle. So your diaphragm muscles, this domi muscle right here that's breathing all the time. It's moving all the time, um, so that you're breathing all the time. All right, so we're going to crisscross. So you feel a little tension in the strap, right? It's pretty taut. And for the first few moments, it's just breath connection. So you know you're breathing in and you know you're breathing out. And then begin to notice where you feel the movement of your breath against the strap. Where is it most clear? And over these next few rounds of breath, Could you allow the breath to start to fill the circumference of the strap so that you can get a sense of your breath in 360 degrees? And we'll just invite one more breath. All right, now go ahead and just let your strap drop for a minute or place it off to the side. We don't need it for the next few moments. And let's take your right arm up to the sky. Get a little reach like you're reaching your ribs through your elbow, through your fingers. And let's make a little side bend over to the left. And we'll take a breath and we'll just try to nudge the breath. We'll try to breathe right into your right ribs. And then when you inhale next, we'll come all the way on up. Let your left arm reach out nice and tall. And we'll curve on over so the right side gets a little short, left side gets a little long. And again, you'll see, can you gently direct your breath into this right side? I mean, left side, excuse me. And then when you breathe in, we'll scooch both arms up to the sky. Slip your hands behind your skull, just lightly. Just rest them on the skull just behind your ears. Let your head just lightly back up so the back of your neck is long. Keep the front ribs a little soft so there isn't a ton of tension in the back of your body. And we'll make a little rotation to the right. And I'd love for you to notice where your breath goes here. What's it feel like on the right side versus the left side? And then let's breathe back through the center and rotate to the left. And if you can imagine the strap was still around your rib cage, is it possible to breathe into the circumference of your imaginary strap? And then we'll gently breathe on back through the center. Great. Go ahead, release your hands. Now let's come into a hands and knees position. And if for some reason you can't be on your knees, you could set your hands on a table or a chair while you're stepping on your feet. And so you might be in a position that, if this was my chair, would be something like this. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to be on hands and knees. And we'll situate the hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, so that your limbs are supporting the length of your spine. Keep a strong rooting down through your hands and your shins. And the next time you exhale, let's curl the tail under, round your spine. We'll come into a little cat pose. And when you breathe in, we'll lift the tail, we'll lift the heart, we'll come into a little cow pose. And we'll do that a couple of times, just moving on the rhythm of your breath. And the next time you come into cat pose, where the spine is rounded up toward the sky, stay a moment. Is it possible to invite your breath into the back of your body, into the back of your lungs? See if you can feel the length of your back and the width of your back and see how much breath can take up space in there. And then the next time you breathe in, we'll come back to the center and walk up to a kneeling position. And let's take your arms and reach them behind you. You could bend the elbows and rest, hold one hand in the other, hold your forearms, hold your elbows. You could even clasp your hands with your arms straight behind you. Any of those options. And then see if you can begin to draw your shoulder blades a little towards each other. And as you draw your shoulder blades towards each other, notice what that did across the front of your shoulders and chest. And then could you lift your sternum ever so slightly toward the sky? You're going to keep your chin soft. Just think of lifting your heart toward the sky and take a few rounds of breath here. And as you breathe, could you consciously direct the breath into the space just under your collarbones, right in the front of your chest there? And give yourself one more breath. Great. And then ease your chest, relax your arms. And then last thing here, let's come on to your elbows and your knees. And you can let your head get a little heavy. And what I'd love for you to consider or to focus on is softening your abdominal muscles, softening your belly. Because that's often an area we all hold some tension in. And so see if you can find a little softening through your belly, through your abdominal muscles. And when you think you've softened them, see if there's any more room to soften. I usually am like, oh, there's a lot more to soften. So see. And as you let your belly muscles soften, what do you notice about the breath? What do you notice about the movement of your breath? We'll just take a breath more. All right, now let's go ahead and walk back up. You can come and sit in any seat of comfort. Let's find your strap or whatever's acting as your strap. Let's do the crisscross like we did before. So it's wrapping around the back of your ribs, crisscrossing in front of the bottom of your sternum. And just for fun, just for fun, curiosity, go ahead and breathe and just see if there's any more either freedom in your breathing or even an awareness of the breath filling the circumference of your strap. And it's okay if it's not. That's why we come to practice, to keep learning and exploring. Okay, now let's let that go. And now we're going to do our pranayama practice, our breathing practice. It's called Sama Vrtti. Sama referring to same or equal, equal lengths. And so you can think of the breath as having four phases. There's the inhalation, and then there's the pause after you've inhaled. Then there's the exhalation, and then there's the pause after you've exhaled. And so all four of those phases in Samavriti, we try to make equal length. So if you're inhaling and it takes 3 counts, then you're going to pause for 3 counts. Then you're going to exhale for 3 counts. Then you're going to pause again for 3 counts. And so that's what we'll do. We'll come to lie down. I'll show you how we're going to set it up. And we'll do just that. We'll inhale for 3, we'll pause for 3, we'll exhale for 3, we'll pause for 3. We'll do that 2 times. So we'll see how we feel. And if everything's feeling okay, we might try to do it over 4 counts. Same practice. Inhale 4, pause 4, exhale 4, pause 4. Okay? So you don't need your strap for this. You can put it off to the side. You do need your blanket, or I'd like you to have a blanket. And we're going to open your blanket up till it's in this relatively long, wide rectangle. And we're going to make it a little narrower. We're going to fold it in thirds like an accordion. So I'm going to lay a third of it down. I'm going to fold over that, and then I'm going to double back. So now I've got this longer rectangular shape. Okay. Now my blanket is pretty long and it has a little fringe. So I'm going to turn the fringe where my head's going to go. And because I know it's long enough, I'm going to tuck under this little fringy side to make a pillow. Now, you could use a thin pillow. You could also just run a blanket, another thinly folded blanket across like a T for your head. Then I'm going to take my bolster, and this could be a pillow or a couch cushion, and I'm going to run that across my mat. That's where my knees are going to rest. Okay. And so then we come to lie down, which is maybe the best part of this. You're going to prop your knees up onto that bolster. And then when you come to lie down, you're going to lie down so my bum is on my yoga mat, and the blanket's going to support the length of my spine from my lower back through my head. And when I want it to feel comfortable. So if this isn't comfortable, maybe you need to unfold your blanket a little, or honestly, you could do this without a blanket. I just like the little extra opening it creates through the ribs. What I would love for you to experience with regard to the head is that instead of your head tipping up, that your back of your neck is long, your chin is dropped, just so that the throat and the neck can be easy. And we're not cutting off the chest in any way, right? We're just letting the chest be open. And then let's rest a hand for the moment on your belly. And so as you're here, you can start to let go. You don't need to really recruit very much muscular effort. And as you breathe, again, just notice the gentle movement of your breath. You're going to breathe gently here. You could think about the strap if that's helpful, or maybe even just the feeling of the weight of your hands on your belly is enough to feel the movement. You've got the blanket underneath you. Maybe you sense some movement of your breath into the blanket. And then we're going to begin our practice of Sama Vrtti. So let's inhale a breath together. And let's exhale the breath completely. And then we'll inhale over 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. And pause. 3, 2, 1. We'll do that again. Breathe in. Add your pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale your breath. 3, 2, 1. Add your pause. And then just breathe naturally. And notice how you feel. If it created any sense of agitation or anything at all, then let this go for today. And you can just breathe naturally here with us. Sometimes even just lying down and breathing consciously, just noticing your breath, feeling the movement is enough. But otherwise, if that was all good, we're going to try now over 4 counts. Same practice. Inhale 4, pause 4, exhale 4, pause 4. Okay? So when you're ready, we'll take a breath in and we'll exhale all the breath out. And then we'll breathe in over 4. We'll pause for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll pause 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, pause, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. And then inhale and exhale, just gently your regular breath. And notice how that felt. All right, so you've got breathing in over 3, breathing in over 4. Which one felt most comfortable to you? Whichever one felt more comfortable to you is what you're going to do on your own. So same pattern, inhale over 3 or 4, pause for 3 or 4, exhale over 3 or 4, pause for 3 or 4. So remember, this is Sama Vrtti even. So if you're committed to 3, stay committed to 3 all the way through, or 4 all the way through. So we'll begin together. We may not end together, but we'll begin together. All right, let's take a breath in and exhale all your breath out. And we're going to do this for 4 rounds. Breathing in. Remember your pause. Exhale. Remember your pause. All right, 3 more times on your own. And then whenever you're done, you'll just return to your natural breathing and we'll just stay a few moments with the breath. And then sometime in the next breath or two, you can bend your knees, step your feet onto the bolster or pillow. And then we'll gently roll to one side. And when you get to your side, just take a moment, enjoy a breath here. And then we'll place your top hand on the ground in front of you and we'll come on up to sit. Good. And then take a moment just to sit and to notice how you feel. You can notice how your breathing feels. You can even notice the effects of your little bit of movement, little bit of breathing, little bit of stillness on your whole being. All right. I hope you found that helpful. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them on the comment section below if you're looking at this on YouTube. You can also shoot me an email if you're watching this on my website. And if you want to find out more about me or our classes, you can meet me at thisisyourbliss.com. You can sign up there to receive free practices. You can also sign up and subscribe to our YouTube page. That helps to get the page out there. It helps to spread the word about what we're doing here on Yoga Bliss. Yeah, so thanks everybody. Have a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.